Hey Chris, it's Eric looking to do a video response on your video entitled Zero Sum Diffuses the Illusion of Selflessness. Now, I have to say, I definitely agree with the idea of zero sum game theory and non-zero sum game theory. It's certainly, I think, a part of the equation. I think deeper than that, though, it goes to show that we don't do anything as human beings. We don't do anything without some kind of gain to us. Now, the gain can be either realized or non-realized, meaning it's perceived gain or it's a non-perceived gain. But the fact is that there's always a gain for the person who's doing the action. Example, I like helping people. I enjoy giving them counsel, advice, whatever I can do to help them. This is because I tend to have that need to help people, and when I help people, it makes me feel good inside about who I am and the shitty circumstances that other people have that I don't. So the idea is that with this, what happens is that I have a gain, even though by default there's also a gain for someone else, and I still lose something because I'm giving my time or I'm stressing out about what it is that they're doing or whatever the case may be. Now, the question I think becomes out of all this, is this still a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Because we tend to view selfishness as a really bad thing. And in fact, there's a lot of emotions that tend to have this dichotomy, whereas they're always good or they're always bad. Things like anger tend to be seen as a negative emotion, jealousy, a negative emotion, greed, selfishness, all negative emotions. Love tends to be a positive emotion, things like that. But that association that those emotions are intrinsically good or bad all the time is actually a false one. Because look at anger. If I get angry about a situation enough that I'm going to make a change that's a positive thing for myself or for someone else, then that anger is good and justified. Whereas if my anger drives me to shoot somebody, that's probably not as good a thing to have. Turn it on the other side as well. Love can be a good thing in that I feel good about myself and I enter into a positive relationship. But love can also be a very bad thing. It can lead to obsession. It can lead to stalking and the like. So the idea is that not all of these things are intrinsically good or bad. And I think as a society and as a species, we have to kind of get away from the idea that everything is in black and white, good or bad, light and dark. It's not all that simple. Now, you can apply this to a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, I think that even if there are no selfless acts, which I do think that is the case, there are no selfless acts, everything has a selfish connotation because we don't do anything without having a benefit to us in some way, shape, or form, whether we understand that benefit or whether it's a subconscious benefit, a product of our misspent youths or whatever the case may be. There's still a benefit there for us. So we are always looking out for number one, as they say. But is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? Because it's a selfish thing, does it mean that the good things that come out of these so-called altruistic events, does it diminish or denigrate them in any way? And I don't think that's the case, because I think in a lot of those cases it's the outcome that matters the most. Someone once said, it's not the destination that matters as much as how you get there. The journey is as important, if not sometimes more important, than the destination that you end up at. So I think that certainly drives the point home with regards to selflessness or altruism as a whole. Now, I won't get into the idea of how, evolutionarily speaking, the altruistic motivation has come about. I think that many of the people have done that better and more succinctly than I can, but suffice it to say that there are certainly some evolutionary advantages to being altruistic, both in terms of the in-group, out-group mentality, and both in cases of the survival of the species and the survival of the self at the same time. So certainly I think that those things are all good points.